G'day everyone, this is Jill, also known as GeniAus, and have I got a scoop this afternoon at Rootstech? I've hit the jackpot. With me here today is the CEO of Familysearch International, Steve Rockwood. Steve, thank you so much for coming along. You probably had no choice. You didn't know who was going to interview
Hey,
you.
I'm the one that hit the jackpot on this one, so thank you very much.
So Steve, you've been with Familysearch for 12 years. But what led you from being a call centre entrepreneur to Rootstech, to Familysearch? Sorry, we are at Rootstech. Why, how?
Well, with my company, I had built a way that people could stay at home and have a wonderful job at home. And Familysearch learned about what we had built and asked if I could help them create a home-based help network for people doing family history, just as they were beginning to launch the public tree.
Yeah.
I thought it was a 1 year, 18-month, wonderful little project to do internationally, but that was 12 years ago. So they hooked me.
They hooked you, and then you've moved to different areas. You've not always been in Salt Lake City, have you?
No, I just moved to Salt Lake a year ago.
Okay.
I've been out in the field that whole time.
So where have you been in the field?
So I was raising my family in Colorado, in Golden,
okay.
Colorado. So we stayed there the whole time. And by design, they said, stay out in the field. We're trying to learn how to work with a true global virtual environment. So I was able to keep that perspective. Plus, I was the dummy. If they ran it by me and I could understand it, then they thought the rest of the world could understand it.
That sounds familiar, yeah.
And then they did ask me, right before we launched into 10 languages on Familysearch, they asked me to go to Germany. And so I took my family to Germany, and we did all the work there within Europe before we then announced Familysearch in 10 languages.
Okay, you're the third CEO of Familysearch I've been lucky enough to interview.
Oh. Sorry, it's going downhill each time.
Well, I noticed with Mr. Kurt, what's his name? The gentleman with the hair, Jay Verkler, that he had a focus on technology. Then Dennis Brimhall came in and it swung around, and the focus was on families and, well, it was always been on, but stories and adding value sort of thing. You seem to have a bit of an international interest. How has the focus moved since you came to Familysearch?
Well, I hope it's evolving. Jay put together such a wonderful technological foundation that now we can build upon. But we could tell that people weren't going to come with their hearts if it was all about the wonderful technology and the names, dates, and places. So we're so thrilled and indebted to Dennis to bring the heart into it. Now what we're trying to do is make sure that heart and the technology are together and it actually becomes a true global phenomenon. It's not just the industry out. Well, let's involve everyone, not even those in the industry. And it's not just in the traditional family history markets, but it involves everywhere. So yes, I think that's my role, is to make sure this becomes a global thing down into each individual home.
So you are going out into lots of countries. How do you, I saw something recently where the missionaries were in Fiji or whatever. There was a documentary on TV in Australia. And I wondered, how are you going to, with family history, how are you going to reach the people in third world countries through technology? How are you going to get them to contribute their records, their family history to your Familysearch family tree?
That's a great question. In fact, we like to look at this upside down and backwards.
And inside out,
and
I
inside
think
out
it
as
is.
well. So really what when you build all that technology, we said, okay, if we're in downtown Manhattan, New York, or we're in Papua New Guinea, what's the real core universal process? And it's simply conversation. So how we're doing it is we're sending people out to have wonderful, meaningful, very simple conversations to bring those memories, bring that information out. It's not a clerical exercise, it's a heartwarming exercise. And then we use the technology. After they've written that down in little book, we have 4 million copies now of a booklet that's out in 66 languages, just to have this simple on the ground exercise. And then we create technology to capture it and then start to share it. And that's where we have the mobile app.
Yeah.
That's where we have familysearch.org. And right now we're about to launch, we're very excited about this. We call it Family Search Lite. And it's just a small little light application. It just works on a feature phone, doesn't have to be a smartphone.
Oh, wow.
Takes almost virtually no bandwidth. And using text technology in that, now we can gather all of those family histories anywhere.
Oh, it's amazing, isn't it?
It really is.
It's fabulous.
We're quite humbled by it.
Now, you were sharing stories of your ancestors and your family in the keynote today, and yesterday you were talking about sinking and skiing and swimming and all. No, not sinking, swimming. There must be an ancestor in your past that's sort of a bit of a black sheep. Is there anyone you'd like to disown?
Like we disown? I haven't discovered them yet.
Yeah. Oh, good.
But
I come from 10 convicts.
there
so-
you go. And well, on my Rockwood side, they came from the UK. Actually, I don't want to disown him, but we have an ancestor who came from the UK, escaping perhaps some things that he had done there in England.
But they're fun, the black sheep.
Exactly.
And have you got stories of him?
Yeah, I'm trying to verify the stories, but right now we have
Okay.
some pretty fun stories.
Fantastic. Now, what else? I'm just dumbstruck with you. This was something that fascinated me. You've said that competition is vital, but yet Family Search is out there on its own. So how do you overcome no competition?
Well, we all have our own different roles, and competition is vital. It's what keeps everyone sharp.
Yeah.
It's what keeps progress going. But that's not our role. We've been doing this for 120 years. And so our role, we really feel, is to be the collaborator,
The bridge
the
builder.
gatherer, the bridge builder. And we're trying to find ways to make sure we can do that so that everyone can have their individual roles. We have to make sure the commercial entities are successful, so they have to
Yep.
compete. And if there's a way we can be the Switzerland of the industry, that's what we're really, really striving for.
Okay, now just finally, they haven't. Yeah, they've waved us off. Finally, is there anything that you would like to tell the people out there, the ordinary people like me, that use Family Search?
Well, I'm an ordinary person too, so we like to get back to the basics. Just take the time. Don't beeline it to the computer. Take the time. Have those family connections. Have those family conversations. When people come to the Family History Library, where we have over 550 computers, we realize they all came with their family connection device.
Yeah.
We'll tell them, call your aunt, text your grandkids, have them get involved. This is a social family affair, not just a specialist affair. And that's what we hope we can do, high tech and low tech.
I think you deserve the title of Family Search Cardiologist, Chief Cardiologist, the man of the heart. It comes through in your presentations, and it's come through today. Thank you so much, Steve, for taking time to talk to me.
Well, thank you. I'm just a fellow student along with everyone, but these are heart specialists. We're changing hearts. And thank you for being one of the great promoters of that.
Thank you.